What's up, guys? Today we're playing Epic 7, and today is day 33 in our Noob to Awesome series, and we're going to be going in to try and beat Wyvern 13. I started with Golem, but a lot of you probably already started with Wyvern. This will be the second of 3 hunt events that we're going to do with Banshee coming up next. Now today we're using all free-to-play gear that the game gave us. Most of it is all level 75 or 78. Also, what I should note here is that I do have the Nixie'd gear from the Labyrinth. So as you see, I'm almost done with Nixie'd, and they do give you some of the speed set gear. They also give you some of the destruction set gear as we move further down into the Labyrinth. Here we go. They give us 6 pieces of destruction and I think crit set as well. Yes, crit set as well. So I have most of this, and this is going to be going on to Mui. Now, what we're also going to do today is we are going to come in and utilize the Grace of Growth. So this is very important because I don't want to waste a bunch of resources onto Furious, who's going to help us to come in and to beat this boss with the defense break. So once you use the Grace of Growth, they automatically, no matter where they are, become level 60, fully awakened at a +6. If we wanted to spend Molagora 15 times, then we can get him up to a +12, but I think he's going to work just fine right here. As we look at our Wyvern, you can pretty much use any heroes coming up into stage number 11. I was using Ras, Montmorency, Lorena, and Mercedes, and they could auto battle all the way to stage 11. Now that we're on stage 13, we're going to have to look at the stats a little bit closer to see what we're going to be using. Now they do give you the cigarette for free. We also have a Montmorency. We have the Furious that is now in our Grace of Growth, and we're going to be using Mui as well. One thing that I would like to do in the future, once I get Seaside Bologna, is transition away from using this Furious and possibly going into more of a one-shot team. But for now, these are the heroes that we're going to use. They're on pretty scuffed gear. Let's come in and see how they do. Now, the very first thing that I want to do is I want to just utilize this team to see how they do on auto battle. They might not be tanky enough, they might not have enough damage or have enough effectiveness, so I want to see how they perform coming into them all on their own, because that's the goal, right? The goal over time is to be able to come in and just do auto battle to get gear, to get gold, to get a lot of the rewards that the game's going to give us.
Rest in peace.
That must have been painful.
So far, it does look pretty good. Now, when Furious comes to his second round, that is where it's really going to be interesting. So he has one more round here. So when your team is coming through, you want to be able to kill them before Furious takes that next turn to utilize that defense break, right? And it looks like we are going to do that on this Mui hit. So now the very first hit or very first turn on Furious, he's going to be able to utilize that defense break. Okay, we have attack down. That is very nice. Let's hope that we land this defense break. Okay, and we do. We don't get a target debuff, but we have 3. Now, once you land 3 debuffs on this boss, he's going to do considerably less damage to that front row. So not very concerned about whether Montmorency is going to live here. We also see the target debuff here, very nice. And we're just taking damage. Man, this is easy mode. What in the world?
It's going to be okay.
Now this is just scuffed gear. A lot of it is not even maxed out gear. So very interesting that they're just handling this boss all by themselves. We do get another defense break here, but we don't see the attack down. That's okay. Maybe we get an S3 from Cigarette. We don't. So now we have no defense break on the boss. We have to make sure that we have enough damage to take down the shield. I think that if I had some Molagora into Cigarette, that on her
This
next
is your
turn, she would
end.
have done this S3 and then it would have been all over.
Fire! Fire! Glory for Aachen. Death to our foes.
Okay, so they do take down the shield. Very nice. We have a lots of room to get more damage onto Mui and onto Furious if we have to, but it looks
Remove
like
all
full
obstacles.
auto battle. Wow. Okay, very interesting. This is the first time that I've taken down number 13. That was number 13, right? It was number 13. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so surprised. I did not even expect this team to work, and yet there it was. You can see Mui only level 49, so this is going to get better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to level him into the hunt. So if I can auto battle this without a maxed out Mui, he's going to get experience as you come in and defeat the hunts. So very, very nice there. That'll save me some of the penguins, leveling him up. Now, first off, we have Angelic Montmorency. She is on the free HP sets that you get, the very first set that you get, not even as good as the next one you get from the Hunt quest. Plus 12 onto the necklace and onto the ring. What you want from her, she's going to be your frontline tank. So you want to make sure that you get her imprints and imprint concentration because you want to get as close to 200% resist as you can. I have 162 plus 20 from the Shamadra staff. Now, you don't need to have this staff, but they gave it to me, so I thought, why not use it? Rod of Amaryllis is a very, very good artifact for her. I also like to have Magahara's Tome. Rod would be the best artifact. Staff, I think, would be the second best artifact. You can see here that she doesn't even have the last awakening. She'll get even more HP with that awakening once I'm able to do it. We want to have 1400 to 1500 defense, 20,000 or more health, and I have her at 150 speed, which you can have her a little bit faster as well. Now she's going to work the best when you do your skill tree at plus 30. Some of you might be using Angelica. You can use her as well. Try for the same stats, even if you're using Angelica, and I think that she's going to work. Now we have Sigrid, no Molagoras into Sigrid, and she's on the free attack set. Now with Sigrid, you want to get her to at least 65% effectiveness eventually as you're pulling more sets from the hunt. And that's because she's going to be landing on unhealable and also bleeding debuffs on the boss. Now the bleed doesn't do that much, but when you have debuffs on the boss, you're going to hit harder with your S3 because you're getting a higher amount of penetration for all those debuffs. Also, the more debuffs you have on the boss, the less hard he's going to hit. At a 3 debuff, he was only hitting for like 800, which is nothing. Montmorency's going to have no trouble keeping up with that at all. I have her onto the number 3 exclusive equipment to activate her S2 extra attack sooner. This is the best one if you ask me, and so I keep this on her no matter what build you're using. I also have a maxed out Daydream Joker. They give this to you when you finish the very first portion of the hunt event. And what you want to do is just go in and level it up to 30. She's going to have this for the rest of her career unless you change her out for something like a Alexa. But overall, what you want is 85% or higher crit chance, and then as much attack and crit damage as you can. Next up, we'll go into Furious. Now he is level 21 onto the Grace of Growth, which makes him 6 stars, level 60, fully awakened. We don't have any Molagora into him. That's just the 6 Molagora that they gave us from the Grace of Growth. We have him onto Song of Stars for a 75% chance to land another debuff called Target. When you have the target debuff, they're going to take an additional 10% damage, so that's very, very important as well. And we're just basically using random gear. We see plus 9 gear here, plus 12 boots. This is just gear that I have left over. I did try and roll a helmet. It did not roll amazing, but I wanted to get that effectiveness here. You want to have him at least 65% effectiveness, and you want him to be the first person to go on your team. but you want him to be slow enough that he will not use his S3 twice inside that first wave, because then you want to land that defense break on the boss as soon as possible. Now we come to our last hero, Mui. He is using a Daydream Joker with only one limit break. Eventually, we want to take this out fully. Also, level 49, so we're going to level him into the Wyvern. You don't lose anything if you level your heroes in a hunt because there is no stigma mileage. We have lots of room for improvement because we can also awaken him 2 more times. What we want is at least 65% effectiveness. We have 57, so we're going to try and utilize some more of this. We also want at least 85% crit chance. That way he's going to be critting the boss every single time he goes. Other than that, you want some attack, and I think that this can be pretty good. As we're getting some more imprints, you can choose imprint concentration to give you a little bit more effectiveness if your gear is not rolling effectiveness. We also want to come in and we want to start to maximize his skills. At +4, he's going to have another 15% chance to land the debuffs on S3, and a +4 here, 10% more chance to land the bleeding on his S1. So lots of room for improvement here as we move forward. But again, we were able to do a full auto W13 with this completely scuffed free gear. So amazing. I can't even believe it worked. But now that it's worked, we can move on to the Banshee. And also, we can keep farming Wyvern if you really are hurting for gear, or if we have an event that comes up. Now we can start to burn our leaves, get a lot more gold, and have that chance to start to craft and break into endgame. Now,
Fire.
as we were going through
Fire.
and
Glory
challenging
for
Wyvern
Aachen.
13, I
Death to
did
our
notice
foes.
something very interesting that happens once you're able to complete it. I didn't know this was going to happen because I don't typically use Grace of Growth, but in this case, because we want to utilize Furious without sinking a ton of resources into him, now we have an interesting situation here. When we look at the XP, we see that both Mui and Furious are receiving experience, but we know that Furious is in the Grace of Growth. So how exactly is that going to function? When we first started, we had Furious at, I think, level 19. Now he's at 27. So this is an added bonus that we didn't have before, where if you use the Grace of Growth onto a hero that you plan to use in a hunt, now you can level them up while also being able to utilize them for that hunt, which was really nice bonus. Let's go ahead now and do some of those day 33 summons, starting with the Covenant. Real excited. I hope that we get something here. We don't. That's okay. We do have some more elemental summons from beating that wyvern. Let's go ahead. I think they're in the mailbox here. Very nice. Let's start with the fire. No spark. We do get Melanie. I have no plans to use her. Let's go ahead and we're going to move on to here. What heroes do we even want? Shu would be nice. Crow would be amazing as well. Let's see, what can we have? Come on, I know you want to give me Crow. Cigarette, okay. We already have Cigarette. You can choose to utilize her as an imprint, or you can wait for the Operator Cigarette to come out and then utilize that. Very nice, though, that we did get a 5-star unit. Who else can we have? No mages. Oh, man, I don't want any mages. Zerato, only good for an imprint on Champion Zerato. Not going to be a hero that we're going to use. Let's come in now. We do have a couple of the
You're not bad.
Moonlights.
But
Straws,
you're
Last Rider Crow. Those would all be amazing. Can I get a Camilla? We don't. Maybe a Doris imprint here. Sonya. uh, I hope that's not how this is going to go for the rest of the summons. A thief. There are no thieves that we need.
nothing happens in the Khan Empire without my knowledge. So, what do you want to know?
Talia, honestly, I don't even know what she does. If we look at her S3, it looks like she has 100% chance to dispel 2 buffs, making them unbuffable, cannot trigger a counter. Under S3 grants immunity to the ally and the caster and a barrier to all allies. Okay. And then we just get a less than 100% chance of defense break onto her S1. None of these skills are needed, and especially not in this order, so we're not going to be building her. A couple of more. Can we get some sparks? Can I get an Angel of Light? Yes! Angel of Light!
I'm a different lots altogether. Shall we see who deserves to be called the true lots?
Oh man, we get auxiliary lots. He was super cool for a long time through the game history, but has been replaced by Flan, who is faster. You can still utilize lots if you can get him to like 270 speed, then he does work out. He also has onto him, can I see it here? Yes. He has a 10% increase attack imprint for these two slots, so that does come out pretty good, but I'm probably not going to be building lots. Think, what do we have? We have one more here. Oh man, give me something I can use. We get another spark. What's it gonna be? I don't need any thief heroes. Last piece Karen, we have her already. So that is slightly disappointing. There are some heroes I really want. She has an amazing design. Very cool. Now what we're seeing with last piece is that she doesn't hit necessarily hard enough, but she has an amazing kit to her. She has the ability to dispel 2 debuffs from herself, grant herself increased attack, so self-buffing attack, an extra turn, which is also good, and she gives herself the Phantasm Sword, which means that you cannot hide behind a knight. She's going to do just damage to whoever it is, no matter who they are, and hopefully take them out. Now that is a buff onto her S2. This is where you're actually going to hit. It's going to grant you stealth and a barrier and increase hit chance by 50%. So that's really where her value lies, is that she can hit enemies with evasion. You want to get her onto an artifact that gives her maybe that extra 20% chance. That way she can't be miss, or she can't miss them, they can't dodge. But she's going to do very, very well in that situation. Something where likely where we have Savior Aiden that's coming out, now we have Last Piece Karen as a 4-star unit who can possibly counter her. Carmainerose is one of my very favorite heroes in the game, so I do want to do her specialty change as soon as possible. Now, when I was looking at her quest, eliminate 250 monsters from the Sacred Kingdom, I saw that this guy here, Chaos Inquisitor, also has the exact same quest. So if you do them at the same time, you can save a lot of energy having to re-farm all of the different things. Now, one of his quests is eliminate 25 enemies from Rose Apostle's meeting hall in the labyrinth. That is a very specific map that you would want to go to in the labyrinth, and I'm going to show you where it is. It's in Tyrrell Castle, and I believe it's number 3, Rose Apostle's meeting hall. Now, when you come into this labyrinth, you'll get the most kills possible if you follow the same path. You want to go up, come over, go north again and around, back, and then south. If you have enough, you can keep going, but this will make sure that you're getting all of the Sacred Kingdom kills when you come into this labyrinth. Looking too in our journal, Sacred Kingdom is kind of a very difficult thing to understand. It's in the human type, and when we come down, we see that it's these guys here. They have the little hood or whatever and the masks. These apostles and priests, these only appear in the labyrinth, but these can be farmed in episode number 1 or unrecorded history. The problem is, episode number 1, even though it gives you the most kills, it also gives you half as much of your XP, which means half as much of your stigma and half as much of your AP. What I ended up doing is coming into the side story, unrecorded history, and then I farm them at the same time in map number 19. This gives you between 2 and 5 each map, and it didn't take me very much. I think I used like 100 or 200 energy, and that was all done. Let's go now and finish off the specialty change and see how he looks. I really wish this hero was more usable, so if you're
You
using him,
can't
let
escape
me know
from
how you're
me.
using him and what you're using him for. They keep changing him, they keep giving him buffs, and still he has not become meta, but absolutely amazing looking hero. Very, very nice. I'm really looking forward to using Carmainerose, so we're going to go back to her. Now, her quest here to eliminate 50 arena battles is actually quite easy. Even if you do 5 a day just NPC battles, then you're going to get this in 10 days, no problem. But this is the hero that I'm looking forward to using because not only is she going to be good in a lot of our content moving forward, but she's also just fun to use, right? One of my very favorite heroes, both personality and for usefulness. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a like so other people just like you can find it as well. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck with your battles.